Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the pimp slap POD, Mike M.
Pimpin' ain't easy, but it's fun like money. Got bookies on the run, now it's time to get money. Not your typical way to ball. It's last call like some convicts waiting on the next draw. You can feel the tension. Did I mention? Fools better pay attention, cause we getting paid like a pension. T's on the ones and twos, we not the ones that lose. Mike Money's killers might even make the evening news.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping! Buzz Sports Radio, you know we be pumping!
What up? What up? Welcome into Last Call here, Pub Sports Radio, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. You already know where to find the best action, every opportunity you need, angles, trends, analysis, line movement, cash flow, bookie reactions, and everything else to help cook the books. Welcome on in. It's going to be a monster card tonight. We got a lot of work to do. You guys know the deal. We're going to have to keep a super brisk pace tonight. I want to say there's 15, maybe 16 plays laid out across the card. We're going big in the Major League Baseball action tonight. We'll start to show off in MLB. We'll roll into the NHL. We got 4 games on tap in the playoffs. We'll give you guys some analysis on 3 of the 4, maybe a lean on that 4th game out there. And then we'll jump into the NBA. And, of course, Tuesday means we bring on at Getting Bills there, our guy Billy Briz helping us navigate the hardwood, the ninja of the hardwood, as they say there, to get us that cash. Appreciate you guys coming by to hang out and watch us here last minute, getting ready to get to the action. You guys know the deal. 3 things we ask you to do here when it comes to Last Call. Smash the thumbs up button. Let them know we're here doing this thing on the regular. Let them know where you're spending your time. Let them know where you're getting your information there. Help us crack the algorithm that is this 6 p.m. slot. And let them know Pub Sports Radio is the best to do it in the business. Appreciate everybody coming out here. Number 2, you guys know the deal. Get a pen and paper. Lots of action being shared here. Not just on panel, not just myself, not just Billy Briz, but of course, all the action being shared in the chat. Oh, so sharp. You're going to want to write that stuff down. Not miss a beaten. Of course, you guys know the deal. Throw your plays out there in the chat. We want to recognize the action you guys are on as well. We're all trying to do the same thing, get that money out of the bookies' pockets and put it in our own. So make sure you guys get out there and throw it in the chat. We're off site today on location here. And guess what? We just cashed a big old plus 340. St. Louis Cardinals and the under 8.5 out there. Plus 340. I'll raise a glass to that. It's cocktail day here. Spending some time getting it done. Love to see you guys out there in the chat. My guy, Joe T, of course, ready to kick this thing off. He's saying, hey, Mike M, what's up? Let's get that cash. Of course, he's going to the NHL. First period's over. They've been so good to my Joe T, and it's a great time to do it. So he's lighting them up across the board. It sounds like he's going to have 4 first period overs. He's going to live bet every game over the total if the team that can be eliminated, if they are losing. That has been an oh-so-successful strategy, Joe T. Thanks for sharing. Brent Cook's in the house. He says, how about these cards in the 9th? Brian Watson's there. Let to see that there. He says, Brian Watson's waiting for the Matthews update. I saw that. Questionable status here from Austin Matthews. We'll see what happens there. Old E in the house. Subhuman Gaucho. Brent Cook. And there's the Subhuman Gaucho. Hockey play of the day. He's got Lindholm from the Canucks under 1.5 shots on goal. Plus 130. The Subhuman play of the day. 21-14. How about that? My guy's up 20.48 units, 20.5 units out there on a 21-14 record. Shout out to you, Subhuman Gaucho. It says, can find Lindholm under 1.5 at plus 150 on Bet Rivers if you have access, but I bet it on DraftKings. Oldie says, let's go. Crystal Craig's in the house. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Crystal Craig. Winner's Circle says, hey, yo. He's got that Maxey over 31.5 points in assist. The Hurricanes money line tonight. That's an aggressive play there with that Hurricane spot there. And Pub Sports, our guy T, of course, on the 1s and 2s says, good afternoon, boys. Let's smash the like button for the pimp. Shout out to my guy, the Odds Bunch says, let's go, Mikey Mike. Shout out to you, Sharpie. It's great to see you, man. We got them ribeyes cooking today. We got a nice little 5-pack out there. Go check my guy, Sharpie, out on the Odds Bunch. Best damn prop show in the business. I get to come in there. Benefit for me to come in and spend time on a Tuesday. Gerald Jones says, what's good? Best bet Phillies -1 for our guy Gerald Jones. And Subhuman says, I would also be looking towards those third period overs. Joe T should be good money making strategy. Kenny Wood in the house says, what's up, Mike M? And Senior Bumps, Perky Bumps Sanderson. There's my guy, Justin McAlvey's got the stacks play of the day. He's got Hart over 26.5 points and rebounds. A nice -106 there on that game. And Perky says, Cards, moneyline cash, under 5.5. Same game, going to cash Yankees moneyline. Let's go, Jay Peasy. If you don't know, Jay Peasy wrote the intro. Best damn one across YouTube. Tell me I'm wrong. And I'll tell you, you're wrong, because there's no damn way. You know he broke the mold when he wrote that one there. JW says afternoon. And Juggler 23, of course, our guy giving us the overnight steam. He says teams that scored 90 or less points and favorite the next game, 109 and 65 equals free money play the Cavs -5. We're going to be talking about all the NBA action tonight with our guy, Billy Briz. Appreciate you sharing that, Juggler 23. Philly Eagle Flyer, maybe the best name in the business. I'm partial to that. And there's Trisha M says, hey, all, how about them Panthers? How about them Panthers, huh? Dana Delt, Brent Cook, good in the house there, says Pimp Slap. What's up, bro? It's good to see you. Good. Thanks for coming in, man. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button for us. Trisha M says Rockies versus Marlins, battle of the sorry team. We're gonna have some action in that game, Trisha. We're gonna take that battle on. Top Set says at the Hard Rock for all night action playing. Some 2 to 5 out there, our guy. Top Set. Josh Lower 34 says Madison Keys +394 moneyline live bet after down 1 set. Good says I'm rocking with the Zuna RBI, and there it is. You know, I don't have to cheers to water tonight. There, our guy Old E gifted 5 Pub Sports Radio memberships. Old E, my guy, appreciate you coming in on the regular, sharing your looks and sharing your cash, helping us build this community. In this case, 5 memberships at a time out there. Shout out to you, Old E. Cheers, my guy. Let's go. Trisha says, at Brent, it's a beautiful look. I was even in game over. They couldn't stop running up the score. Brian Smith says solid. And there's Coin. Coin says, what's up, Mike and chat? The Miami fade train in effect today on the Diamond Coin. You already know what that play is going to look like, my guy. Let's go. Joseph Alvarado, what up, my guy, out of the Chicago area. Jason Works says, what's up, Mike? Let's get paid. Coin says Miami in an 0-9 first game of a series spot. You love that trend, don't you, Coin, my guy? Let's go. Trisha M says, at Top Set, good luck. I live 5 minutes from the Hard Rock out there. Trisha M giving him the coordinates out there. You guys got to get the old meet and greet. Go out there and get that cash. And let's get into it tonight, you guys. We got a lot of show to get through. Little time to do it, so we got to get moving out here. You know, we start them all off. Got to be transparent. That is the most important thing we have here. And it was a pretty good day yesterday. We rolled off an 8-5 spot out there. Let's see where we started with that one there. Major League Baseball. Ups and downs. The Yankees, they got shut out. Disappointing. Not going to win if you can't score a run. We'll take that out. They were plus money, so it was just a unit. We did fire off wins on the Nationals. You guys heard that from me on not just last call, but I gave it out on Medicate Monday. The boys, Dabby, Dutch, and crew got it done out there. That Minnesota and the under 8.5. A little sweaty on Minnesota, but we cashed a nice plus 170 spot. The Diamondbacks did us dirty out there. Home team, lots of travel for the Dodgers. They still couldn't get the job done, but the Cincinnati Reds at plus 125 came through for us. Hockey, kind of split, right? Like, look at this here. Florida, Atlanta, Philly, parlay. It was a plus 315 shot. Didn't get it done, nor did the same game parlay. In retrospect, probably should have just done Florida -1. Man, they stepped on their throats in that third period, and they get the series W out there. Vegas, though, I'm not sure what to make of that series there. I don't know how you start off with 2 road wins, and then you lose 2 at home. That's not Stanley Cup defending champ worthy. And then we cleaned up in the NBA. You know, we had ourselves a nice run across the NBA here. I see 5-0. I thought it was 6, but that's okay. We had Jason Tatum under 26.5 points. We picked on the hurt guy, and picking on the hurt guy was successful for us. OKC -4.5. Ingram under 21.5 points. We picked on the hurt guy there. That came through for us. OKC under 208.5 was a late ad. We got that cash. And then the Lakers plus 6.5 came through for us as well. And that's how you get it done. LeBron, maybe time to just take a little extended break and decide if you're going to actually come back next season. But That's how you go 8-5. That's how it rolls, guys. We're going to be toggling across the board, seeing what you guys are on. My guy, Robert Martin, says, checking in. Pimp. What up, Robert Martin? It's good to see you. Top Set says, thanks, Trisha. And Robert Martin says, like number 41 in the chat. What number were you? Man, that's a great question out there. We ought to pick a random. I got to see if we can figure that out. See who the number. We'll do a little random number generator out there and start to get some winners picked out for you guys coming in here, hanging out. Give you some side cash out there. I'll look into that. That'll be a takeaway that we try to evaluate how we do that there. Perky Bumps giving old E the shout out. And Rem Most says that Mikey M, Mike Trout out, knee surgery. You know, that's interesting because that does compromise a little bit of the tangle of attack that I had with the RBI on Bryce Harper. You know, Bryce Harper and Mike Trout got some bad blood between the two of them boys. And I would have expected with Trout in, Harper was going to go deep. But in this case here, I'm not entirely so sure. Trish Hem says, Mikey Moolah back at the lake house. You know he's cashing. Crum in the house says Braves minus 132. And the over in the Cavs 202. Perky says he was like number 28. The amount of World Series titles the Yankees will have by this season. Coordinating and calibrating his like action to his World Series prediction winners out there, guys. Let's get into it. We've got, as I said, a monster card, a lot of action to get into. And we're going to start off in Major League Baseball, the high levels. We're going to jump into that Colorado-Miami game. We got the Yankees and Baltimore, San Francisco and Boston, Tampa Bay and Milwaukee, and Cleveland and Houston action that's going to get us off the game here, get us off the mound and into the action here. We're going to start off game number 1. Coin already shared it. He already gave you guys the spoiler alert. We're looking at this Colorado and Miami game. And lots to like here. First and foremost, if I was going to start off, well, I'll give you guys the numbers. We'll start with the splits. 84% of the bet, 76% of the cash on the Miami Marlins. It's gone from minus 142 to minus 135. If you guys are new here, you know this is what we do here. We look at the bets and the cash. Everybody can see what the bets and the cash are. It's how the bookies are reacting to that cash that we're looking to see. How are they feeling in this case here? Everybody likes these Miami Marlins. Coin said it. In fact, they are 0-10 since October in the first game of a series. 0-10. Yet they've got 84% of the bets and 76% of the cash. It's good enough to drop the line 7 cents from a minus 142 to a minus 135. Then we look at the total, 94% of the bets, 95% of the cash on the over, expecting runs. We got Sixto Sanchez on the bump with a 7.2 ERA. That's good enough to go 0-1 on the season. And then Bobby Feltner for the Colorado Rockies, a 5.68 ERA and a 1-2 run. Very interesting situation here. You know, we look at this game. I'll tell you exactly how I expect this thing to kind of play out when it comes down to it. We know, first of all, the Rockies coming back from the Mexico City game out there. 2 games against Houston, a 12-4 beatdown, followed up with an 8-2 dismantling, I guess is the best way to look at it. On the other side of things, the Miami Marlins, they couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat down there in Miami, and I think that's the angle that we want to attack. We know those first game strategies out there, and this is a double dipper for me to open up. We got 2+ money opportunities. The Rockies first 5 plus 110, the full game plus 120. What do we know about Sixto here? This guy's still coming back, trying to battle back to form from an injury. And I don't know, overall, long haul, I'm not a big fan of a team coming back from a big opportunity like Mexico City, where it's almost like a home run derby and they're just cracking balls down yard out there. But the wind was blowing in. It wasn't quite the same deal at elevation in that Miami spot. And as I kind of look at this one here, look, I want to take advantage of Sixto coming back from the injury, trying to get himself back into form. Here's how I envision this. First of all, you guys know the deal. The 2-run advantage for the road team. They lose 25% of the time, but if you use that 2-run token out there and Colorado goes up, you're going to cash that bet lickety split. On the other side of things, I'm expecting at least Colorado to get 1 to 2 runs early in this game on Sixto. And then from there, just kind of maintain that lead against that Miami team that we know can puke up wins at the end. Their bullpen falls apart game in and game out. They're on a hell of a losing streak. They haven't won the first game of a series since beyond October of last year. Give me that first 5 Colorado, full game Colorado spot. Lots of ways to go out there and be creative with it, but plus money on both opportunities here is how we're going to start the card off tonight with last call as we move on. Game number 2. We got them Yankees and Baltimore. A lot of early action in Major League Baseball, probably because of the way that I was looking at the card for later action across the NBA and the National Hockey League. But you got to look at this Yankees game here. Yesterday, 2-0 spot. The entire planet was trying to nuke that over, and it just wasn't in the cards. 2-0, shut all those bats down with G-Rod and then Baltimore Orioles here. Minus 118, Yankees open up as a road favorite. We have 69% of the bets and 89% of the cash. The Yankees have gone from minus 118 to minus 124. There's that Yankees tax that's inside of there somewhere, I guess, at the minus 118, but this thing's moving in the right direction. We have correlated movement if you're looking to back this Yankee side of things. Then we look at the totals, and we got nines. It opened at a 9. It's sitting at a 9. We have 58% of the bets and 55% of the cash on the over. Yet, it's only plus 100 on this over. Now, these are favorable hitting conditions out there. We got 85 degrees Fahrenheit. We got the wind busted out straight down the middle at about 9.5 miles per hour. So absolutely favorable hitting conditions out there. I love the rundown. I've seen a lot of guys talking about Gunnar Henderson. He's slugging a 919 on breaking pitches this season. He's the best in Major League Baseball when it comes down to that opportunity. And why not take a sprinkle with him on a home run opportunity? But Nasty Nestor's been firing it off there. He's got a great strikeout rate going at 68% on the season. I guess the question comes down to Dean Kremer and company. And I'll tell you the way I want to attack this one here. For me, I looked at this Yankees game. First of all, the Yankees bats are just beyond phenomenal right now. They're a 3.90 OBA, 2.23 ISO. And, we know with the guys like Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, they're all certainly in bounce back capabilities. And speaking of bounce backs out there, we got ourselves a nice 120 to 50 opportunity when you have a team that's the better team statistically or wins and losses wise, coming off of a loss out there. Furthermore, when you have a favorite team off a shutout, the bounce back is real in baseball. You're a favorite off a shutout, pretty straightforward. You're 70 and 24 in those opportunities. The favorite and the bounce back after getting blanked, 70 and 24. That's good enough for me to double dip this one as well. I'm going to this New York Yankees team total. First 5 over 2.5. I want to see early runs in this game. The weather's going to start to taper off a little bit as it gets later in the day, but I do expect at least to start things off. They can get some guys on base. Kramer's not a big walk guy, but he certainly is able to let these guys bounce back and go yard. And you got the top of this order looking like guys like Soto and Judge out there. Volpe, of course, there's a lot of action. There's a lot of meat on the bone that can go out there and get this thing to go yardstick out. For me, it's the Yankees team total first 5 over 2.5. It's a nice little minus 105. Then we've got the Yankees sitting down there. It was minus 117. I know there's been a little bit of late movement here. Let's just take a peek at where we're at with the Yankees now. Wow. We're up to minus 124s, 129s, 130s, and continuing to climb. So still on it. Not 5 cents of movement, 7 cents of movement isn't going to knock me off of what I expect with Nasty Nestor, 3.5 ERA to come with that bounce back against Dean Kremer and a 4.61. We'll see who gets the actual run support for the stretch of this game. But again, favorable hitting conditions. Give me the Yankees in that early bounce back, and then the Yankees to get the job done at minus 124. Disappointing. I got to take a little 7 cents of adjusted movement on the spread, but that just kind of gives me that confidence that we're on the right side with that opportunity. Yeah. Shut them out O's yesterday. Yeah, Marcus McCarthy. That was exactly the case. They gave him the blank job out there. And Trish M says, I got tired of frying trout anyways. Still don't forgive him. We will, I guess I should say we'll forgive him, but not forget what he did to us in that opportunity for the RBIs a couple of weeks back there. Rem says, I'm mad I didn't take him RBIs as I was eyeing it out there. And Jay Stone says, Mike M., I'll be back for NHL. Love me some baseball, but I can't right now. Hockey has 100% of my attention. Respect Jay Stone. I certainly respect that. Big Show picks says, well, if it isn't Lieutenant Red Check. Ross Pitts is on the Yankees money line. Let's go. Joe T says, I hit the like button a week ago for every episode. That's just good old due diligence out there, my guy, Joe T. We appreciate you. Josh Lower 34 says, you got the Cleveland Guardians plus 154 money line. Hunter Brown gonna get tagged. We will talk about that game. And Dana Delp says, Cavs first half minus 3.5, full game minus 5.5, and then Bohm at an RBI plus 145. I like that spot there with Bohm, specifically because of the opportunity for left-handed advantage in hitting out there. And you got Bryce Harper sitting in front of him in the 3-hole. Why not see that guy go yard and get the job done? Speaking of getting the job done, let's move on. Let's go over to Boston. We'll keep picking on these AL East teams right now as we look at the San Francisco Giants and the Boston Red Sox out there. Some great numbers that work in our favor for this game as well. Got to keep that brisk pace. You guys already know the deal. Smash that thumbs up as we dig into this game here. Game number 3 on the card for us. San Francisco Giants open up as a minus 130 favorite. We have 36% of the bets, but 75% of the cash on the Boston Red Sox. What's the line done? Well, it's gone from plus 110 to plus 114. Then we look at the total. So we started at 8.5. It's moved down to 8. We have 64% of the bets and 68% of the cash on the over. Yeah, we have reverse line movement there as well. We got Criswell starting for the Boston Red Sox at 2.38 ERA, a 1-1 record on the season. And of course, Webb coming out there with a 2.33, finding plenty of run support when he gets the start. 3-1 on the season for this guy Webb out there. And I like that Webb spot to me. This is a great opportunity. I'll give you guys some of the numbers as well here. How about this? All across Major League Baseball, the away favorite, the first game of a series, 40-19 in those spots. The under is also hitting at a pretty solid rate there. But the overall strategy for me was the away favorite in the first game of a series, 40-19. The away favorite in the first series against the Boston Red Sox, 24-19 out there. They're losing them games by 3 runs on average. That away favorite in the Boston Red Sox spot is out there. I'm on San Francisco in this one. I'll tell you another spot that I looked at. I just couldn't make the final cut for me was jumping in on this under as well. We know Logan Webb's out there and ferocious. And I guess the variable to me is what are we going to see out of Griswold when it comes to this opportunity? His overall K prop is 3.5, but it's juiced to the under at minus 125. Doesn't look like the books are expecting him to go out there and settle many of these runners down. Ultimately, I thought maybe this guy gets busted up and we don't see him even go through the full rotation the first time. But I want San Francisco. I just isolated San Francisco Giants for me. Full game. It's minus 130. It's reasonable juice. And then Kenny Wood says Yankees first 5 team total over 2.5 is plus 110 on the Hard Rock. I like that spot, my guy. Get that. That's a 15-cent difference right there. Huge importance of line shopping. Kelly V says Baltimore plus 215, score the run first inning. Cortez Road suspect. I don't know about today. We'll see. Voodoo Ranger says, is Allen now questionable? RBIs. Didn't see him earlier on the report. Anyone know more? And Kelly V says 7 interleague games. Dodgers score run first inning plus 160. Phillies score run first inning plus 165. I like that Phillies score run first inning spot at plus 165. I wrote that one down today. I know we keep talking about it. And you guys are cashing like crazy on it. I just felt like it's something that I've got to start to take a little bit more attention to. Kelly V says, reminder, Colorado and Houston off Mexico City games. Bats could be off. I totally agree with that. But I'm fading that Miami team here to start this thing off here as we get moving down the line. In fact, just another game from now, we will talk about that with Cleveland and Houston. But before we get there, let's talk about Grandma's panties. Grandma's panties, right? She's wearing your sister's panties again. Play of the way is given out on Jimmy the Bag Show today. Tampa Bay in the over 7.5 for me to rock this thing off in this Milwaukee game here. The world loves an under in this spot here. I think 7.5s are just a little too low right now. You know, it's not like we have to see an explosion of runs to cover a total in that situation. But what we do need to see is obviously the right team become triumphant here. And this Tampa Bay Rays team, you got 86% of the bets and 91% of the cash on the Brewers. They're saying there is no way Tampa Bay comes out there and wins this game. And then as far as the total is concerned, 90% of the bets, 88% of the cash. We're starting to see 8s out there in the market. So in terms of the total, a little bit more concerned that this thing might go over versus under. We've got Alexander starting for Tampa Bay with a 4.74 ERA, but he's getting run support, 1-0 in that situation. Peralta, Freddie P out there with a 3.18 ERA. He's 2-0 on the season. He's getting run support as well. How did I kind of come up with this little concoction here? Well, I looked at the K props. You know, I see that Peralta's over 7.5. Everyone's expecting him to at least get out there and play some ball. But look, the Brewers came out early. Joe T knows. Joe T was on Brewers' first 5 and full game the entire start of the season. What haven't we seen Milwaukee expert there swimming in the lakes of Minnetonka who goes out there and roots for them Brewers on the daily? What have we not seen him do the last week? We've not seen him pull the trigger on the Brewers. And why? Well, you might say maybe they played beyond their back of their baseball card to start this season off. The Tampa Bay Rays have definitely underachieved, but for me, the general feeling, I look back at this trend the last 2 years, the AL East out of the conference or out of the division, when they're playing non-division opponents, they were smacking everybody at a 75-80% clip the last season and a half now. And of course, when they're in season or when they're in division, we see around a 50-50 split. So big money on this thing here to take an opportunity with this swing at plus 340. It's probably even juicier now. Let me just take a peek and see what we can find this thing at. But at the end of the day, I'm playing on the fact that there's going to be regression out of the Milwaukee Brewers. And I do expect this Tampa team to be able to find, with these bats in a game that should go over, a little bit of success. I'm not in love with Tyler Anderson, of course, but Alexander rather. But at the end of the day, I do think there's enough skin here in the game to get this job done. And we're still seeing the same numbers. So we have not seen movement when it comes to that spot there. I'm rolling back with it. I'm on it. I gave it out earlier today. And Trisha M says, Granny needs RSP yoga pants. And Perky says, we love you, Grandma. Thank you. And Mel says, Pimp Slap POD, Mike. I just want to give you props on your show for getting the Av series right. They should. Oh, Mel. Well, I appreciate it. But don't you reverse jinx me yet, Mel. We got plenty of work to do. This Winnipeg team should be feisty tonight. I look forward to talking about that game, but I look forward to seeing you back in here talking more about hockey. One series does not make a capper, Mel, and you know that is better than anybody. Speaking of the reverse jinx, there's my guy, Nick Earl. He says, Earl Sports Bets. Whoa, what is this show? Shout out to you, Nick. Appreciate you coming in, dropping in to hang out there. Hit that thumbs up for me, Nick. Joe T says they can't hit anyone right now. Yelich being out of the lineup is a good bat to lose. My thoughts exactly when it comes to these Brewers. And Big Show Pick says Nate lives another day. Good job with the Celtics there. They had the wrench bet yesterday, and Mr. Trifecta shines through. Although, you know, we'll talk about it later on, but we talked about live betting that game. What was the target number? 17. We said if we get that thing to get to a 17, we're going to take that plus 17. It went to 17.5. It was a minus 105. Cash that thing, no sweat with that plus 17.5. So too bad we can't die. There's so much to document and track. It's just there's just too much, right? You can't just can't track it all, but we did talk about that. It was a nice little victory there. Let's look at this last game in the Major League lineup tonight. It is that Cleveland and Houston game. Kelly V has mentioned the aforementioned opportunity there where we've got these boys coming back from Mexico City. And what an opportunity they got in front of them right now with this Cleveland Guardians team that has been playing some pretty stellar baseball, at least from a bats perspective. You know, that was a big series they had there against that Boston Red Sox team. When the line movement opens up here, we had a minus 148 on the Houston Astros. It's moved to minus 170. That's 22 cents of movement. We got 84% of the bets and 80% of the cash on the Stros, thinking that they finally kind of got that black cloud over their head to dissipate, and now they're trying out to go out there and find success. We will, in fact, see. Then we got a total 76% of the bets and 82% of the cash on the over, and yet it hasn't moved. It's actually juiced to the under. So, arguably, a frozen line, potential reverse line movement on that spot. If you like Hunter Brown and what's going on with these Astros, then go get him. 9.68 ERA for this guy, though. And talk about that lack of run support, 0-4 on the bump. On the other side of things, for the Guardians, it's Cookie Carrasco out there. We talked about this before. This guy bleeds overs, man. This guy is an overtrained. The thing that he's got going for him is his team's been finding support behind it. You know, the Guardians not necessarily stringing together wins. They're kind of that 1-1 situation. They have played 3 great unders, 6-2 under against Atlanta, 4-2 under against Atlanta, and then 4-3 under against Atlanta as well. But I don't know that that's a full accurate description of what's going on in recent form with this Cleveland team, because Atlanta has been out there struggling. They struggled to string together any runs yesterday against that Seattle Mariners squad. And if it wasn't for Colorado and Mexico City, where would the Astros be? You know, their season record right now sitting out there 9-19. They had 2 back-to-back wins against that Colorado team. They'd be 7-19 right now. I don't know who's bleeding confidence in jumping in on this Houston Astros team, let alone that they're willing to lay minus 170, $170 to take this team. Sounds fucking crazy to me. I'll tell you how I'm attacking this game. First and foremost, I'm jumping in on this thing here. I like Cleveland to get the job done. I'm a big Cleveland believer in this case. I've just kind of seen some things. I'm not a Cookie Carrasco backer. Not a cookie. Wouldn't go Cleveland first 5 in this thing. That's not where I'm trying to get paid. But second play for me, I'm doubling up on this opportunity. Where do I want to strike? I want to take advantage of this weak pitching matchup out there. And I see there's an over 4.5 at minus 126 for the first 5. There's 5s at minus 105 as well. I'm good with the 5 at minus 105. I'm going to jump in, and this is a double dipper for me. I'll tell you what, spoiler alert, there was a third play I was looking to jump in on this one as well. And it's Cleveland and the over 8.5 runs. That would be a little same game parlay action. Something to take advantage of if you're feeling frisky about it. I'm all for that one. I just thought that here's an opportunity for me with plus 145 on Cleveland. And I want to get this runs advantage. The first 5 over 5, taking advantage of these beat up lineups. Pitching staffs out there. Oldie says, shut that talk up. Off site, man. We got to roll with the punches. I throw it in the basement, but it's not my dog. Let's roll on and talk about the NHL, and then we'll bring our guy Billy Briz in and keep it rolling, you guys. I told you, we got to keep a brisk pace of plenty of action in Major League Baseball. Let me give you guys the rundown right quick again, because these games are about to pop off. Started off the game here, the day, Colorado first 5 and the full game. The Yankees team total first 5 over team at 2.5. The New York Yankees on the money line. We're seeing movement in that Yankees direction. The San Francisco Giants minus 130. Strong lean to the San Francisco under parlay. We did have Tampa Bay in the over 7.5 parlay at plus 340. And then Cleveland plus 145 and Cleveland first half over 5. I mentioned this too. I'm glad I just double checked this here because we have that situation returning home. What do teams do when they're playing an above 500 dog on the road, ergo Cleveland in this spot, and they're returning home from a road trip? The dog on the road is 133 and 86 against that team returning back home. 133 and 86. That fits the model perfectly. As far as the over is concerned, I mentioned this before, Cookie Carrasco, there's a guy I want to take advantage of. The Astros have turned it on, though. 0.329 OBA, only a 0.186 ISO, but they've been smashing righties, 325 OBA on righties this season, and they're not striking out. So I think that first 5's alive to see plenty of runs, and I do expect Cleveland with that road team advantage to be able to take control of the opportunity. Let's roll. Mel says Matthews is out. Oldie, I know, Oldie, you're fine. You're fine. Nobody heard you. They might have heard me repeat it, but that's okay. That's okay. Mel says Matthews is out. Voodoo Ranger 95 says home runs, hits, runs, and RBIs, same game parlays with Cleveland and Houston. I like me some Kyle Tucker. I'll tell you what, I like Jose Ramirez too, if you're looking in that direction. Take a little cocktail refreshment break there. Mel says, at Earl Sports Bets, I'm on Boston -1. Sancho says Knicks -4.5, Bruins in regulation. And there's Eric Rojas, says the Yanks team total over 5 plus 100. And Orioles team total over 5 plus 120. Good luck, everyone. Juan Ruiz in the house there says, what's up, Mikey? With Billy in my chat, all stars. Let's get it. Leche blessing our action. And Andrew G says, Mike Trout, torn meniscus, out 6 to 8 weeks. Things you hate to hear, but love to see. Or maybe scratch that and reverse it. Doesn't matter. Let's get out of that quicksand and let's talk about the NHL. Because we do have 3 games here. Popping off, start things off with this Toronto and Boston situation. I don't like hearing what I'm hearing about Austin Matthews. That is a big concern for me. That's a really big concern for me. I'm just trying to reevaluate this situation right now. Plus 150. Look, star player theory. The star player gets out. The first game the star player is out. You take that team. You fade him every game after that until the star player comes back. And then you even fade him the first game after that. We're getting Toronto with a plus 150 in an elimination mode after back-to-back losses at home. And we have seen Toronto can go out there and win in Boston. What do playoff teams do as a road dog after a loss? Well, they're 86 and 54. You got a better than 60% scoring opportunity in that bucket, and you got Toronto at plus 150. Backs against the wall. I know Austin Matthews is out. That definitely is a concern. But it's just, if we take Boston -1, what are we really doing? We're trying to keep the juice down in case Toronto does lose? Well, then Boston loses that game. Give me this Toronto Maple Leafs thing. This series isn't done. These guys have gone battled back 3-3. Now, the way I game scripted this, I talked with Nick Earl about this last night. I expected that this series would go at least 6. And what we have here now, 3-2 situation. I'm sorry, 3-1 situation. Toronto wins this, goes 3-2. Then they roll back up to Toronto and they get the job done. They've shown no concern at all about being on Toronto's ice and win the series 4-2. But plus 150 with a team that's got their back against the wall. Don't like not seeing Austin Matthews out of there, but I'm in anyways. In for $1, in for £1. Isn't that how they say it? Isn't that what it says there? Earl Sports says Bruins in 7. Leafs tease their fans by winning games 5 and 6. I could see that too, Nick. I could see that. Either way, that means Toronto's got to win this game tonight. Untouchable Jay says FanDuel has plus 150. Appreciate you line shopping for us, Untouchable Jay. Lucky Power says Boston money line. They're sending the Leafs packing tonight. And Jay Stone says Carolina, Boston, Vancouver, Avs. Team totals over 2.5. Plus 400 for 2 units out there. Looks like all team totals over. I could expect some scoring in this game. I don't know about that Carolina game. Full disclosure, that's not a game I've gotten involved with, but I would lean to the to Carolina in the under 5.5 in that game. If you parlay that up, it's around a plus 180. I don't know. I think it's a good bounce back spot for Colorado. Or Carolina. I'm just not looking to get involved in that game. There's a lot of action. I gave you guys a loaded baseball slate for me. I've got a loaded NBA slate too. I just thought if I got to clip one, that Carolina Islanders one makes the most sense to me. Carolina, just as much as I've got them with that future I told you guys about at the All-Star break, 12-1 to win the cup, I still don't know that they've got enough intensity just yet. They need to battle test themselves through this series to pick it up, because they get out there against a Rangers or Florida team, and it's going to be light work on them boys. They're going to struggle to find the back of the net, but who's not struggling to find the back of the net happens to be at 9:30 Eastern. The Colorado Avalanche going on the road against the Winnipeg Jets. The series right now here. I think this one's toast. Put the fork in them. You know, we talked about this before. I give you guys the same breakdown again. I hate to do it, but 7-6 game 1. They went out there and dumped the truck to that Winnipeg Jets team. That fluttery bullshit goal that went in there kind of broke the back of that game, made it 4-3, now 5-3. They still came back and scored goals out that game, but the Jets did pick up the win. Caps hasn't changed. It's the same series. Is that team that doesn't score a lot of goals, that has this questionable goaltending, going to go out there against a team that can score at will and dump it out there again? They got 7 goals game 1. They got 2 goals game 2. They got 2 goals game 3. They got 1 goal game 4. And I think this series continues here. We might see this one end up going over. I'm taking this is the better team. This isn't questionable. This is the better team scoring at will. When Cole Makar is on the ice and he's shooting the puck, that Colorado team is winning the game. Second period over is very much alive. Let's not forget Colorado, Winnipeg Jets series. Those second period overs, we could certainly see some goals. And Philly Eagle Flyer says just that. Avs second period team total over 1.5 at plus 195. Dylon in the house. He says Avs regulation plus 135. Earl Sports says yes. Avs in 5. Lucky Power likes the Preds money line at plus 105. And Jay Stone says Boston exact score 5-2. I mean, shit. I don't mind attacking the game that way at all. Earl Sports, though, given his NHL lock of the day, we don't use that word out here, but Nick will. He's comfortable using it. He says Carolina money line, no way they lose 2 in a row versus the Islanders. Dripping with sarcasm. Why wouldn't he be? Lucky Power says Yankees on base. JPC says I still like the Bruins, not as confident in the Brew Crew. And Perky Bumps says Pimp Slap called this series before it started exactly how it's been going. You know, we just get fortunate to have those opportunities where you can see some things. We've covered the base. We've covered the ground. Let's just get the job done here at a minus 115. Jay Stone says that's exactly why Carolina's going to smash. They don't want to give the Rangers any more extra time than needed. Clearly, Carolina is saving energy for the second round. That's an interesting take. I get down with that take, Jay Stone 9. I'm on Colorado. Official play for me in this game. And let's talk about this last game here. I said this the other day. I was streaming somewhere we were live streaming and having some cocktails. And I tell you, not a big fan of going back. I misread this series with Nashville and Vancouver, and I will own it. I thought that, the Vancouver team, Pacific, they get the division and everyone's kind of high on what they're doing out there. But even though they go 3 goaltenders deep, it's this leakage of goals that Nashville and their lack of defense. Saros, the question mark behind Saros, just has me questioning this team, this heart, this series, their ability to make a run. Now, tonight, I'm on Nashville. I got to tell you exactly why I'm on Nashville. It's one of those situations where I've taken the L's on these guys, these multi-goal blow-ups at the end of the game. What I'm seeing in this series, though, in this case here, I can't go back to Vancouver. I wouldn't flip-flop in this case. It's a nice price for Vancouver. They still have goaltending issues. Now, the first game, it's the star player theory. First game, the goalie goes out. The team steps up. They play some defense. They got leaked on 3-1. They just found an explosion in the third period. Again, that's twice this series that's happened. I can't go off it. I got to go back to the Predators here. At this point, for me, it's more about the investment I have financially in this Predators game, this Predators team in this series. And now they're sitting at a plus 107 for me. What would happen here? I would flip over to Vancouver minus 125, and they end up losing. Nashville comes back. They got to be pissed about that last game. And I just compounding losses here. I'm sticking with the team that I know in this Nashville team. Not happy about what they did. I think Roman Josi and the boys have to step up to get the job done. This series isn't over. 4-3, 2-1, 4-1 clearly before that, and 4-2. This is going to be a battle tonight. I like the scoring. I like the over 5.5 in this game. I do think that obviously if Vancouver somehow does get up in this game 2-1, goaltender comes out, we see a score fest, and this third period gets blasted over. But I'm on this Nashville Predators team at plus 107. Can't flip-flop now. Not going to let that last game and that 3-1 deficit that 3-1 lead they built up and then let piss away with the last 5 minutes of the game. That's a quick tighten up. Maybe you dress an extra defenseman. Maybe you go out there. I don't know what you do, but you better do it here at plus 107 for me to get the job done here. I can't flip off these Predators. It's just monetary investment at this point based on how I attacked this series. And I need this win tonight to at least get myself back to neutral with this Vancouver Predator spot. So moving quickly because we've got ourselves 3 NBA games and we've got the ninja of the hardwood back there getting Bills, Billy Briz, ready to join us and talk about the NBA action tonight. I'm excited to hear it. I know he sent me his looks, but I've been preoccupied and haven't had a chance to dig in. But I'm excited. I'm loaded up on this card. I see Ross Pitt says 2-team parlay Cavs first half and Rockies money line out there. Jay Stone 9 says the Earl reverse jinx. Carolina 16-1. Robert Martin says Colorado with man on third, 1 out. And Sancho says the Knicks. Let's use that as our segue to bring in our Tuesday expert, helping us navigate all things around the hardwood, college basketball extraordinaire, now the NBA. You know him and you love him out here. UFC extraordinaire, getting Bills, Billy Briz. Welcome to the show.
What up? What up?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Nice little who's going to Cancun tonight is the question of the slate.
1, 2, 3, Cancun, Billy Briz. I'm excited to talk about these teams here. The first game's a big one. They're all big ones at this point, but this one, I think, kind of jumps off the page here. Embiid and his migraines, the Philly 76ers, 7 p.m. We got about 20 minutes till first tip. On the road, in the Garden, the New York Knicks. And we got some cash coming in here. 37% of the bets and 56% of the money on the Sixers. Good enough to move this line 2 full points, now 3.5s out there in the marketplace. 88% of the bets, 93% of the cash on the over. That's good enough to move the line up 3.5 points now, Billy, to a 204.5. I'm locked and loaded for this game, but I very much want to hear how you're looking to attack this one, your strategy, your thoughts, player prop sides, totals. The floor is yours, my friend. Welcome to Tuesday, April 30th. Let's kick some ass and take some names. Tell them what's up.
Yeah, first one right off the bat, I'm on the Sixers team total over 99.5 at minus 120 here. Home team's been favored in every game in this series by 4 or 6 points. Each team has covered twice. Knicks covered game 1 and as underdogs in game 4, but the Sixers covered as road dogs in game 2 and home favorites in game 3. The last game, game 3 total of 125-114 was by far the highest total of the series. The Sixers 125 in game 3 was their highest output by a considerable margin of any team. The Knicks game 3, 114 point. It was a loss. That was their highest output of the playoffs so far. It's hard fading the Knicks at MSG, 26-6 straight up as home favorites, 4th best in the NBA. But they are 18-14 ATS as home favorites. So a lot of these games are close in the Garden and coming down to the wire. 90% of the bets, 88% of the money's coming in on this over the total of 203.5. And I think it's a good buy low spot for the Sixers offense after a horrible offensive performance in game 4. The Sixers went over their team total 99.5 in each of the first 3 games of the series, besides the last one. So in winner go home loss, I think the Sixers are going to go out with some effort here. And I expect a bounce back offensive performance for them. The second
I
one
like the
we're
bounce
looking
back.
is Deuce Miles McBride over 8.5 points. This is my favorite player prop of the slate on the Knicks side of the ball. McBride's been their sixth man. He's been on fire this series, averaging 12.8 points per game, which is more than the entire Sixers bench combined in this series. In all 4 games of this series, he's played no less than 21 minutes per game. And there's no Bojan Bogdanovic tonight, so his usage rating should be up. He averages 3.1 3-pointers without Bojan in the lineup and 7.4 attempts from the 3-point line. And versus Philly in the series, he's gone over three out of his last 4 games, with the only miss coming at the hook of 8 points. When playing 20-plus minutes at home without Randall, he's been over his point prop line in 14 out of his last 14 games. And where are the points really coming from? Most of his points are really spot-up shots, 37%, transition buckets, 20%, and pick-and-roll ball handler, 16%. Philly ranks 18th versus spot-up shooters, 22nd in transition, and 10th versus pick-and-roll ball handlers. And with Brunson going off, I expect some different coverages and adjustments for tonight. We've seen Tibbs be comfortable enough to close McBride in the starting lineup over DiVincenzo. So Miles McBride's going to be the bench player that we're going to try to attack. And then quick cash is Joel Embiid over 9.5 points in the first quarter. He's over 3 out of his last 4 in the series with the 1 miss due to foul trouble. He's played the full first quarter in every game so far, scoring 10, 12, and 15. Should be aggressive early on, averages 13.3 first quarter points versus the Knicks while playing the 11.2 minutes in the first quarter. Hartenstein's going to be a little bit hesitant trying to stay out of the foul trouble. So I like Joel Embiid up and over his first quarter total points.
What kind of juice did you get on that one there?
It was minus 105, but on FanDuel minus 130.
Ooh, so a little runner there. That's a sign you want to have. You don't want FanDuel to have the best number hanging out there for you.
Yeah, you got to search around. First quarter props you can find at ESPN, Bet, FanDuel, and I don't think Bet365 does.
Well, bench player Billy strike again. I love the look. I love the strategy. I love the way that you're attacking this game. Look, I got to go back to good old reliable for me. First and foremost, I'm on the first half under 104.5, the full game under 203.5. Get into the numbers, get into the X's and O's on this one here. Home teams that are looking to close out the series are 16-1-1 to the under, and they're smoking the total under by 13 points. If they're off a road win as a dog or a strong favorite in that spot, they're 16-1-1 to the under. And I looked at these margins. The first half and the full game both have ample number to work with. It's like 8 in the first half, and then it explodes up to almost 13 points by the full game. Then I'm looking at the Sixers. You're looking at a spot that's going to go under. That last game was a lower scoring opportunity as well. When the Sixers hold a team to 96 to 105 points, they're 11-0 straight up and 11-0 against the spread when they're coming off a loss out there, and they're covering by almost 16 points a game. Try to pick the battle where there were healthy margins between these spots here. And it's a triple dipper. It's the Philly first half under 104.5, the full game under 203.5, and then Philly plus 4.5. So as I'm looking at this thing, I know I see it's now 204.5. Let's see what the first half number looks like as well. But Bill, you think this game's got the ability to stay under the number here? It's a lower number to begin with. What say you?
To be honest with you, I think it goes up and over the total. I feel like out of all the games on the board, I feel like that Magic and Cleveland one is kind of the one I have penciled in going under. But I think Philly has a chance of winning this game tonight. If they're going to win this game tonight, they're going to have to get out in transition and play, get some easy buckets. That's been a huge problem for them in these games, is not getting out in transition and getting easy buckets. So I think we're going to see a faster paced Philadelphia team than what we've seen early on in this series.
Interesting look. I hope it's faster paced for them, and the Knicks are throwing bricks up there to get my numbers. But I appreciate the sentiment around it there. We see Earl Sports says Knicks first half -2, the full game -4.5. Knicks says, I can't believe I bet Philadelphia to win the series. I mean, we all fell in the trap. We all fell in the Embiid trap out there. And then we see the crew is shouting out 2-0 Rockies now. You guys know we talked about that winner. There we go. Nick says it. Rockies DK up 2 promo plus 114. Did we cash that bet in the first inning? Yes, we did. Let's go. Koki Cam says, yes, sir. Nick used mine on that too. And there's Mr. Trifecta. Nasty Nate says Knicks over in a teaser. He's got the Knicks in the over. Eric Rojas says, phew, glad I stayed off the Yurfie and the Yanks and O's game. I was close to betting it. And Troy Torrance, my guy, giving some giving some love. Appreciate you, Troy Torrance, is checking in with my
Torrance
guy.
saying
True
the
gem in
plus
the industry.
4.5, a homer pick. I think I don't want to get conspiracy theory here, but I'm gonna get conspiracy theory. If the Sixers win this game tonight, that would be the only game on Thursday night for the NBA, and that game would be scheduled as a 9 o'clock home game for the Sixers on TNT. When the fuck do the Sixers play at 9 o'clock? I think they're trying to juice out a couple more games in these series so they can get a Thursday card.
Yeah, Troy, it's a fair question. A Phillies fan, as I am, and at plus 4.5, it's correlated line movement, though, right? We see the numbers are dropping down, even though the questionable status with Embiid. Now I see him coming in there, so that certainly, to me, raises the level of suspicion that he's going to get in there, and they adjusted the points accordingly. I looked at the point side of this thing here and the total with the unders in this closeout spot, and the profile to me shows the Knicks struggling to get to 100. Billy's talking about taking that Sixers, team total over. That means they have to get to 100. Just the X's and O's, or by the math in that situation, if the Sixers get to 100 and the Knicks struggle to get to 100, they win the game outright. It's the margin of victory for me, though, that's so significant. Probably the only time you'll see me on a homer pick is the Eagles. The most bet under prop in the NBA tonight by BetMGM is Jalen Brunson under, what is he at, 30 and a half or 29 and a half points now as well. So if the most bet prop guy is to go under, and he's been smashing, I looked at his numbers. To me, it's just an opportunity where I think this is a Sixers control this ball early. They've been doing fine to start the games. It's just the end of the games that they've been kind of slacking. They just can't pull the trigger to get the win, I guess is what it comes down to. And Troy says, mob shit. Hey, DeQuincy Buy Sports, there's a name I haven't seen thus far in the chat, says they can have the Bucks win too for that to happen. And Big Show says, Philly fans are the worst. Hey, listen. Let's move on and get this next game underway. Line's down to 4. Philly right side, but can't bet it. And Troy Torrance says, my data shows Knicks win and cover at minus 4.5 and vice versa if minus 3.5 out there. So Troy's thinking that 1 point difference makes the difference in the world. Let's roll on. I think I gave you guys the numbers there. I talked to you about the 11-0 spot for the Sixers, and there's the margin, 16 points on the side, 13 points on the unders. Good enough for me. Game number 2. Do you believe in magic, Billy Briz? We got the Orlando Magic, the Cleveland Cavs out there, and let's look at these numbers before we hear you give it to us on the breakdown. This line opened at 4.5, has moved to 5.5s out there. The high side is 5.5 now. We see 5s. 43% of the bets, but 52% of the cash on the Orlando Magic, the road dog. And yet the total's moving out, or the line's moving up to 5.5, a full point movement from the original opener. Then we look at the total. It opened at 200.5. We have 49% of the bets and 79% of the cash on the over. It has moved up to 203 is the high watermark right now. There's some 202.5s out there as well. Billy, the Orlando Magic at the Cleveland Cavaliers. We know that the Magic did what they do. Big covered team, especially at home. Big 128-83 embarrassment against Cleveland. Then they beat them up again, 112-89. Seems like the story of the tape here is, can the Cavaliers get to 100? And if so, do they get the game done, Billy? The floor is yours, my friend. Take it away.
Yeah, it's really hard to gauge the offenses in this game. We've seen the Magic bounce back-to-back at home games. One of the best the Orlando Magic, one of the best home songs that I've heard besides the Light the Beam in Sacramento. But the Magic responded, and the momentum's definitely shifted in their favor. The Cavs are up by double digits early in that game 4, and they end up losing that one. In theory, it feels like a Cavs bounce-back spot. They played their best basketball at home, 26-15, and playing on the road, the Magic have kind of struggled, 18-23. Jared Allen is questionable with a rib problem, and even if he gives it a go, I think that may affect their interior defense, and that's how the Cavs went up 2-0 in the series. They dominated the rebounding battle, and then if you look at the Magic's last 2 wins, they dominated the rebounding battle in the last 2. The lean would be Cleveland here, but there isn't a huge edge for me on the market here. I would think you bet whoever wins the series tonight, and I think Cleveland wins the series, so you're kind of leaning towards the Cleveland side, but it's just hard to really trust their offense. They've only gone over 100 points once between last year's playoffs and this year's playoffs. In this series, they put up 97, 96, 83, 89. This game's on NBA TV for a fucking reason. I expect another low 90s fucking score, and I wouldn't be shocked if either team reaches 100 points. So with that being said, I gotta stay off of this one.
Yeah, I'm adding a spot to this one as well. I'm moving in on the Cavs first half. I got the -3 and -105. Bottom line for me here, we got the favorites on an ATS losing streak, 75-38 in the NBA postseason the last 3 seasons out there, 75-38 favorites on an ATS losing streak. Think about it. They got beat up, they got busted up, and yet the books came back and said they're a favorite in this game. And there's for good reason behind it, 75-38. When the series is tied, the favorites that are up to a -7.5 are 23-2 against the spread. Big opportunity when, again, that kind of correlates with that favorite situation. Tied series, it's a favorite up to -7.5, 23-2. And they're covering the spread by 11 points on average in those things there. The spread to me is the non-factor here. When I looked at the first half in that breakdown there with the -7.5, I saw the average margin in that 25-game sample is 8 points in the first half. And then it explodes into that second half. So I think this number makes sense. The first half's -2.5, up to now -3s and even 3.5s. It's for a reason that we're seeing the number at that side. I think it's a great bounce back spot for this Cavs. I rolled first half -3, -105. For a full game, -4.5, -115. Yeah, this one's the tuck under the radar play, as you talked about, Billy, with the NBA TV. I see there's -5s out there now, -5, -105. That's fine. The margin's enough in this one. If you could only get 5.5, you're still fine with that too. So don't sweat it. Don't stress it. Just go out there, get that opportunity. Let's take this first half and the full game. Juggler 23 says the Magic stink on the road. Cavs should roll. And Eric Ross says the Orioles are up 1-0. Interesting. Colorado's up 5-0. I know that. Let's roll on, Billy. We got one game left in the NBA. We'll get everybody up out of here. Put the bow on the show, covering a record number of spots tonight. We got a big one here at 9:30 Eastern. The Indiana Pacers trying to close down these Milwaukee Doc River-led Bucks, and a line that opened at 3.5 has moved to 4.5. We have 55% of the bets and 73% of the cash on the Pacers. That's good enough to move the line a full point. We have 216, 83% of the bets, 96% of the cash on the over, and yet we've got ourselves a half a point, maybe a full point of movement, I guess, in this case now. 3-1. Do the Pacers close down the Bucks tonight, Billy? Briz, the floor is yours. I'm still sifting around trying to figure out how I want to attack this game, so I'm eagerly anticipating your breakdown as we get into this one.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but the gas in Game 3 when Lillard went down, that was just realization that the season's just over for Milwaukee here. Milwaukee's defense hasn't been able to slow down Indy at all. They've scored 120-plus points in 3 straight games. Each of the last 3 games have soared right over the total. Indy's offense is just too good here. They're winning each game by 11-plus points. The Bucks are just limited offensively right now. Middleton played great this series and last game, but the production received from Brook Lopez and Malik Beasley, both scoring 20-plus points, doesn't seem repeatable. They're going to have others to contribute to close out this game, and I just don't see it happening. I do expect some of Indy's three-point shooting to fall back down to earth. They shot 22 out of 43 three-pointers in Game 4. But Indy's offense, 120.5 points per game, was the second highest rated during the regular season. Their offensive efficiency has seemed to carry over to the playoffs here. The odds makers have seen kind of spot on with the Bucks being home underdogs since 2020 and 2021 season. The Bucks are 23-41-1 ATS as underdogs. The writing's on the wall here for Milwaukee tonight. I just don't see where the scoring is going to come from for Milwaukee to even up the series in this one. I mean, you're facing the NBA's highest scoring team this year, being down 2 starters. They shot the ball very well in the last game. This is just the basketball god shitting on the Milwaukee Bucks, what they did for Adrian Gifford this year. I think it's Cancun bound here for the Milwaukee Bucks. Dame, Giannis not both suiting up. The writing's on the wall for me. I got the Pacers here -4, -114. It reminds me highly of the Oklahoma City spot from last night, them going on the road and closing it out in New Orleans. One player prop to look at here, though, is Bobby Portis over 20.5 points, -120. He's kind of had an unlucky draw for his point prop overs during this series. He was ejected in the last game, but we're looking at a small sample size without Lillard in the series. He's had a 33.6 usage rating and sees the second most field goal attempts on the team. The opportunity should be there tonight. Middleton's going to see potential doubles, traps, and blitzes off of pick and rolls. Indy still has allowed the most points in the paint and bleeding points down low. Porter should see about 16 to 20 shot attempts here in this game if they keep it within distance. But got burned on Game 1 and 2, stayed off Game 3. But I think it's a good spot here for Bobby Portis tonight.
Shout out to our guy, Juggler23 says, if the Cavs lose tonight, I'm selling my house and moving into Mike's basement. I'm also taking my kids with me. I was good until that last, less is more, Juggler23. You know what? You're welcome to move into the basement, but we're going to have to talk about the luggage, my guy, with all due respect. There's not enough room for that. But nonetheless, you guys have been great, man. It's great to see it. Marcus McCarthy says, thank God I'm done with my workout by 7. Lee Davis says, I'm giving the Bucks one last crack at my money. And Kogi Camp, this Pacers game should be the NBA TV game. Yeah. Brett Cook says, I think the Bucks get it done, at least covered, not betting it though. I'll tell you this. Here's what's got me a little gun shy, a little trepidatious, as our guy Jose Bouquet likes to say. 3 straight overs in a row with this fucking Pacers-Bucks games here. And it's the Pacers that are just thrashing this Bucks team. It's like they've taken their soul, their spirit, and now they're trying to get their firstborn kids. It's a shit show out there. That first game went under, but it was a 230, and these numbers just keep climbing lower. The Pacers are 9-0 to the under as a road favorite of 4 or more points when the total's under 240. Big opportunity there to potentially look at it. They're 10-0 to the under when they have rest, and they shot at least 46% the last game on threes, which is kind of a weird one. An effective rested team that had a decent 3-point shooting night the previous game, now finding a way to go to the unders. My apprehension, and if I do it, I'll tweet it out, is I'm with you, Billy. I think this is Pacers shut them down, Bucks go home night. In fact, I am going to lay that down. I'm going to lay an official ad for me will be the Pacers -4. The question I have is, how do I want to attack these totals? I still want to go after these first half and full game unders. I know we've taken some L's on them. Hard for me to go out there and give them out as officials at this point, but I'm good with you. I'm good with this with the Pacers to lock these boys down at -4, -114. My only ad would be questionable whether or not I want to get involved in these first half unders and full game unders. So
it might be better to isolate the team. It might be better just to isolate the team specifically with, like, if you like the first half under, just bet the Bucks team total under.
Can I tell you the 2 places I suck the most are fucking team totals and first quarters. Well, I'm just no good at this. I don't. On this band, how many times I've given.
The Pelicans, they're like the elimination team about to go home. They lost the first quarter, first half, but they won the third quarter. So theoretically, if you had wire to wire, it didn't cash. But if you had the first half, first quarter, first half full game, you cashed with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I usually think it's just from the eye test. It's been the third quarter that these teams have really turned it up, showed some desperation when they come out of halftime.
I've also noticed that it's either the first quarter's over or the second quarter's over, but they don't. I mean, you see them both go. Like the Bucks game the last time, you're cooked, but it seems like there's plenty of play there. So I don't know. We'll see if I get enough liquid courage in me to go out there and add this first half and full game unders. We'll see how the rest of the card goes, Billy. But great job as always, my friend. It's great to have you here on a Tuesday, rocking with us. Tell them what's going on, where they can find you, what's going on in the world of getting bills. What do we got on deck for the UFC this weekend, my guy? Lay it on the line.
Yeah, UFC 301 this weekend. We're getting it popping, baby. We're in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and it's birthday weekend for me. So, historically, always got to cash a nice little big play here for the UFC this weekend. So we're getting geared up, getting ready. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you get notified for all of our live videos here at Pub Sports Radio leading up to the Saturday live stream. And if you want to see more videos from me, go over to Billy Briz DFS over on Instagram. Always post some free plays and stuff like that. And then if you want to see the basketball plays, getting _Bills over on X. And just because it's football, UFC weekend doesn't mean that there's not football on the horizon. UFL, we've been smashing in the UFL, and we're coming back for this week for vengeance. I got a couple UFL plays lined up. Just got to wait for the lines to come up.
Billy Briz, a man of the people. What day is the birthday, Billy? Is it Saturday?
Thursday. So it's nice little going into the weekend. And then, birthday's May 2nd, so we get to party it down on Cinco de Mayo once we make the cash from doing the work this week.
Well, shout out to you, my guy. I hope you enjoy the birthday week. Start with stacking some cash tonight. We will all benefit greatly from your efforts, I know. And always great to have you here rocking and rolling with us, man. I'm sure I will see you later this week getting after it. Good luck with all your bets and your endeavors, my guy. Get that cash and follow my guy at Getting Bills at Twitter and X out there when he goes live. Make sure you turn the notifications on and see what that dude's all about. He's all about stacking that cash, Billy. Appreciate you, my guy. Everybody else up in the chat, you guys, we're going to get up out of here. I hope you guys had a great day today. And let's go out there now. We've put the work in. We've taken the time to hear what Billy has to say. We analyzed the notes, the trends, the data, the line movement. Get those bets placed, and let's get to the window and cash some tickets. Appreciate everybody that came out to see us today. Take a look down before you head on out there. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do so. Leonard Porsche, Bag back out there. Coin, Jay Peasy, Joe Thompson, Kogi Cam, AOD, Eric Rojas, Jesse Nunez giving out some player props there as well. You guys are great. We appreciate you coming in on the regular. Nick Earl coming in there. Newcomer to the show, Nick Earl. Jesse Nunez, as mentioned. Lucky Power out there. You guys are awesome, man. Brent Cook, Sancho, Juggler 23, Marcus McCarthy, Lee Davis. Without you guys, we truly do have nothing. So we appreciate you spending the time. It's a treat. It's an opportunity that I certainly don't look lightly on to come out and prep for you guys every day and share what I think are the best looks to cook the books. Good luck with them bets. Shout out to my guy T on the ones and twos, holding it down, keeping it tight and right. And we'll see you guys up here soon, every Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Last call, Post Sports Radio. See you guys real soon, man.